Namaskar and welcome to the session on basics of food safety. The objective is to refresh our fundamentals, and this session will focus on the four aspects. First is you'll be able to define and state importance of food safety. The next is you will be able to characterize biological, chemical, and physical hazards. You will be able to explain role of hygiene in food safety, state the principles of safe food, and implement food safety practices. Let us start with the importance of food. We know food is one of the fundamental requirements and it is essential for nutritious and growth. And we all enjoy food and it performs physiological, psychological, and social function. Now, we as a human being expect food to be tasty, good in appearance, safe, and suitable for consumption. But then this food can be the carrier of the diseases. A term which you are familiar is foodborne illness. Foodborne illnesses, it is disease which are carried or transmitted to us by food. Now, what is the load of foodborne diseases? You'll be surprised to know 1 in 10 people fall ill after eating contaminated food. Every year, we witness about 600 million cases of foodborne diseases and 420,000 deaths every year due to unsafe food. Out of this, 30% of foodborne deaths occur, particularly children below 5 years of age. And the range of the diseases are more than 200, ranging from diarrhea to cancers. And these are caused by harmful bacteria, viruses, parasites, or chemical substances. Now, what are the symptoms? Symptoms vary from mild gastroenteritis, that is stomach flu, and in ordinary words, we say diarrhea or cramps, to life-threatening neurologic, hepatic, and renal syndromes. Who are the responsible? Normally, the foodborne pathogens, and to name a few, it's a Salmonella, Campylobacter, E. coli. And how do they enter into the food? It is the contamination of food in the food supply and environment. Now, the hygiene also play a very important role, and the communicable diseases could be because of this. Similarly, if there are some deficiencies in the food quality, maybe from the chemical hazards, then we can get the non-communicable diseases also. The other important aspects which are related with this are antimicrobial resistance and with the zoonotic diseases which occurs from animals to human. So this is the load of the foodborne diseases is there. Now, give the examples are given here, like organism and disease, gastroenteritis, which is you have a symptom of stomach flu, diarrhea, cramps. It is because of the Staphylococcus aureus, and mainly with the products like eggs, poultry, and milk, and animal products are there. Similarly, botulism, it is the organism is Clostridium botulism, and it's the fruits and vegetables and seafoods are there. Then diarrhea, Bacillus cereus is the another organism, and in the rice, milk, potatoes, you can observe this.
Correct.
Similarly, Salmonella typhi, which is present in the raw meat, poultry, this also causes the diseases, and E. coli, like unpasteurized milk, undercooked meat, contaminated water, we can get the gastroenteritis or diarrhea. Now, these are some of the examples of the foodborne diseases are there. Now, what is the importance of safe food is there? First thing is they affect the economy and society as a whole, the foodborne diseases, because they strain the health care system, and it is one of the public health concern. There is a loss of 33 million healthy life years because of this. Export and trade is also affected, and more important is the public trust is lost. The people will not, consumer will not have the confidence. Similarly, tourism is also affected, and there is a wastage is there in the system, and the resources are also lost are there. And for the sustainable development and food security, the safe food is essential. And these foodborne diseases affect the vulnerable people like elder people or older people, and the young children are the women very much. So contaminated food can cause long-term health problems. So we should be very careful about the foodborne diseases. Now, in our country, the scenario is slightly complex because we have a large unorganized food sector is there. We have a limited network of cold chain facilities, and because of the technological advances, the food chain is becoming more complex. Understand? Simultaneously, we are witnessing new challenges like new microbial threats are there, environmental pollution, climate change, biotechnological advances. So they are making the system more complex. Further, because of the commercialization and increase in international trade, at times we are not sure what we are getting in our products. Then the rapid urbanization also and preparation of street foods in the slum area, it is also adding to the food safety concerns. So these are the concerns which are related to the our country is there. Now let us see what is the food safety. The definition, as we know, it is a type of assurance that food is acceptable for human consumption according to its intended use. What it implies means absence or acceptable level of contaminants should be there. Now, we as a food safety professional should ensure the conditions and measures in food chain does not represent an appreciable risk to health of the human beings. The safe food is essential factor for human health. Now, how we can do it? It involves the identification, prevention, detection, and management of hazards and risk that could lead to the foodborne illness or injury. In the first review, so kindly note down or answer the following questions. What are the virtues and risks associated with the food? State the foodborne diseases and impact. Define the food safety. State the food safety concerns in reference to our country, and name a few foodborne diseases. Now, we come to the second aspects, that is hazards to safe food. The first is what are the hazards? The Codex defines as a biological, chemical, or physical agent in a food or condition of food with the potential to cause an adverse health effect. In other words, the causative factors for the food spoilage and foodborne illness are characterized as food hazards, and there are three types: biological, chemical, and physical. The allergens are also covered under chemicals or as an independent also because of their growing concerns. So remember, the food hazards are the biggest threat to the food safety. We'll take one by one. Biological hazards, mainly microorganisms and their toxic metabolites. And they cause illness when transmitted to human through foods. So under this, we have a microorganisms and pathogenic bacteria, spore formers, non-spore formers, parasites and protozoa, viruses, mycotoxins are both types, biological and chemical also there. Then the foodborne antimicrobial resistance AMR stain. So these are the biological hazards. Now under this, we have the two terms, foodborne infection and foodborne intoxication. Now foodborne infection means it is caused by ingestion of sufficient number of food containing pathogens to cause illness. That is like examples are Salmonella and Listeriosis. Now particularly the symptoms do not appear immediately. So this means when we are taking a food which contains the pathogen, we call it as an infection. And foodborne intoxication means when we take the food in which the toxins, preformed toxins are already present, like staphylococci poisoning or botulism poisoning, they are the examples of foodborne intoxication. And they appear very quickly. So the difference between infection will not appear immediately, whereas the intoxication will appear very quickly into this. Now we come to the next group, the chemical hazards. They are into the system when they cause illness using them. That is like agriculture chemicals, insecticide and antibiotics. In processing plant, like cleaning products, sanitizer, equipment, lubricants. Then there are certain naturally occurring toxicants are also there. And food chemicals. So there are four types are there. These the chemicals. They are introduced into the system and they cause the illnesses there. Like examples are growth stimulants are used, or the pesticides are used, or toxic metals are packaging material. So these are the examples of chemical hazards, and they come from either from the agriculture chemicals, or from the processing plant, or the food chemicals, preservatives, additives, are naturally occurring toxicants are there. The food allergens are becoming very important in the present scenario. So they are the substances which can cause an allergic reaction to some people. Examples, as you know also, peanuts, egg, milk, wheat gluten, and soya. Mostly food allergens are proteins, and the allergic reactions are like tingling around the mouth, swelling around the nose, mouth and throat, difficulty in breathing, rashes. These are the certain examples. What happened? The immune systems make a type of antibody against the allergen, and also the histamine is released by immune system to trigger allergy symptoms. That's why we get the allergic reactions are there. Now, physical hazards, as the name indicates, they are the physical material which are not normally found in food and which is present and may cause illness or injury to the individual. For example, some metal pieces, stones, wood, these are the things are there. So they are foreign matters which are present because of during the production, during the processing, or the precaution have not been taken care. Now, so the causes of the food hazards, primarily if you see, there are 5 main reasons. Improper agriculture practices, then the polluted environment, then the poor hygiene at any stage of the food chain, lack of preventive controls in food processing, preparation and operation, and untrained personnel. These are the causes of food hazards are there. The next important aspect under the food safety is food hygiene. First is, what is hygiene? It is, as we know, free from disease-causing organisms and other hazards or harmful contaminants. Hygiene keeps the safe food as safe, and there is a direct relationship between hygiene and safe food. If your hygiene is there, your food will be safe. The Codex defines food hygiene, all conditions and measures necessary to ensure the safety and suitability of food at all stages of the food chain. It has three components: food itself, people, and facilities. Let us see it one by one. The food itself, it should be in the safe condition initially, and subsequent protection in preparation and service should be there. How we can do it? Avoid the use of areas where the environment poses a threat to the safety of the food. Control the contaminants, pests, and disease of animals and plant in such a way as not to pose a threat to the food safety. And then adopt practices and measures to ensure food is produced under appropriately hygienic conditions. The next is people, those who are involved in handling both as an employer and as a customer, that is producer, processor, transporters, food handler, consumers, that they should not contaminate the food by maintaining an appropriate degree of personal cleanliness and health wellness. So when these people are involved, producers, processors, they should be clean, personal cleanliness and health should be okay. Next is facilities and equipment. The again important criteria is hygiene. The material of construction, layout should be in such a way that it should be easy to clean, it should be easy to maintain, and eliminate the entry point and breeding places for the pests and insects should be there. The major threat is normally faulty or inadequate equipments are the reasons. The temperature zone, the danger zone should not be there for a long time. Food should not stay there. Then difficult areas to clean, dirty surroundings, pest infection, they create the problems in reference to the food safety. So the contamination is to be minimized. Design and layout should be such that the maintenance, cleanliness, disinfection, and airborne contamination should be minimum. Surfaces and material, particularly which are coming into the food, are non-toxic and where necessary are easy to maintain and clean. Where appropriate, suitable facilities are available for temperature, humidity, and other controls should be there. And there should be effective protection against pest access and their harm. So what are the advantages of safe foods? It provides uncontaminated food of good quality to the consumers, ensures prevention of foodborne diseases, promotes participation in international trade in food products, stimulates economic development is there. Now we can take the second review. Now you answer the following questions. Define the food hazards, differentiate between the foodborne infection and foodborne intoxication, list out the causes of food hazards, how do the food hygiene has been defined by the codex, and what are the important facets of food hygiene. Now we come to what are the sources and step of the contamination. Normally the sources are as the agriculture products, the soil, air, water, equipment, insects, packaging materials, and food handlers. Now the stages or steps could be at the primary production level, purchase level, storage, production, distribution, and delivery. So each of these steps gives an opportunity for contamination. What should be the strategy? Protect the food from contamination and reduce the effect of contamination. These are the two strategic points which we should know. How to protect the food? If the biological hazards we feed, so proper cleaning, processing, cooking, and the unhygienic facilities, these should be taken care. For the chemical, we normally go for the practice good agriculture practices and purchase the material from the known sources. And if there are chances of you finding physical contamination, so manufacturing facilities and food processing operations should be designed to remove or eliminate the inadvertent material, like proper filtration or their metal detector. These things should be placed into this. Now, what are the main offenders in control of contaminants? It's mainly improper agriculture and environmental practices, infected food handlers, contaminated food supplies, unhygienic food handlers, unhygienic equipment and facility, inadequate processing for preservation, for minimizing risk from food safety and hazard chemicals. So these are the main culprits in the form of contaminants. Now, how to reduce the effect of contaminants? Primarily to follow the proper post-harvest food preservation methods, principles of food safety, proper physical and chemical cleaning by sorting, cleaning, washing, and HACCP should be there. Food should be kept away from the temperature danger zone, that is 5 to 60 degrees centigrade. Yeah. Now we come to the principles of safe food. There are 5 main principles. First is keep clean, separate raw and cooked food, cook thoroughly, keep food at safe temperature, and use safe water and raw materials. So these are the 5 keys, and this can be applied at the home level, at the factory level, at the at the hotels, or any point is there. What is keep? This is the foundation of the food safety, that is cleanliness. So wash your hands before handling food, and often during food preparation. Wash your hands after going to the toilet. Clean and sanitize all surface and equipment used for food preparation, and protect the kitchen area and food from the insect, pest, and other animals. Second is prevent cross contamination. This is the major cause of the foodborne diseases, and particularly it happens from the raw materials from the final product. So you separate raw meat, poultry, and seafood from the other foods, as well as processed and raw materials should be separate. Use the separate equipment and utensils such as knives and cutting board for handling raw foods. Store food in containers to avoid the contact between the raw and prepared foods. Now cook the food thoroughly. Proper cooking is must to kill the pathogen microorganisms, particularly with the meat, poultry, eggs, and these products. Bring the foods like soup and stews to the boiling temperature, that is to ensure that they have a 70 degrees centigrade, and the core temperature should be around 70 degrees centigrade. The precautions should be taken for the reheat product. They should be cooked thoroughly. They keep food at safe temperature. As I mentioned, that the danger zone is 5 to 60 degrees centigrade, because temperature control is crucial in preserving and the food and in preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms. Do not leave the cooked food at room temperature for more than 2 hours. And refrigerate immediately all the cooked and perishable food below 5 degrees centigrade. And the hot food should be served at more than 60 degrees centigrade and should be heated above 60 degrees centigrade. And do not store the food too long even in the refrigerator. The last point is the use safe material and raw material. The water should be of the potable quality, and we should always use fresh and wholesome food for making the product, and choose the foods process for safety such as pasteurized milk. Wash fruit and vegetables properly. Do not use food beyond its expiry date. So these are to ensure that the water quality and raw material are good quality is there. Now, there are 2 approaches we are recommending for the food safety. One is the integration approach of food hygiene and safety. And what does it require? Is the good agriculture practices, good animal husbandry practices, good veterinary practices, good hygiene practices, good manufacturing practices, HACCP hazard analysis critical control point, VACCP vulnerability or food fraud, food defense, that is threat assessment, microbiological risk assessment, ISO based quality management, and TQM. These approaches will are to be taken for the food hygiene and safety. Similarly, for One Health approach, because it has been observed that the environment, animal health, human health, all these things are, are we have to work together. We have to tackle them together. And food safety risks, like from the at the farming practices, the post-harvest, processing, distribution, retail, then the consumer behavior is also important, food service and food waste is there. So environment, animal and human health, we should take care, and One Health approach should be followed for this. So to conclude, the foodborne diseases are the diseases which are transmitted to us by food. The food hazards are the causative factors having potential to cause adverse health effect like chemical, biological, physical allergens. These are the type of hazards are there. Hygiene is very important and it should be free from the disease or the harmful contaminants should be there. And it is very much directly related with the foodborne diseases or food safety. Food safety, as we define, it is an assurance that food is acceptable for human consumption according to its intended use. It is a shared responsibility with monitoring. Then the WHO has given 5 keys for safer food and which can be applied at the home level, at the industry level, at any level. The safe food requires integrated approach to food hygiene and safety. So remember, the food safety is global priority and safer food will give us better health. So thank you very much.